Well, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the panel is the one and only Bridgeman and my close personal friend, the Fox. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Bridge. Evening, Fox. Evening, listeners.
Well, can I say a big good evening to you guys in the panel?
You know, it's the way I can rise above that, Bridge. So
I listened to it. I'll tell you what, and I heard the abuse earlier as well. I must admit that.
Thank you, mate.
So I'm a witness. Can I just say a big good evening to you guys in the panel? Huge good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in from all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are we doing, Fox boy?
Feeling great, mate. After a great game yesterday. Looking forward to Wednesday now.
Onwards and upwards Wednesday. Don't see any problem Wednesday, and then a massive game on Saturday, Fox. 3 o'clock, Ibrox, Saturday.
I'll be there.
Bring them on. Oh, I need you to meet somebody at the bistro.
Oh, do you? Right.
Yes. Okay.
Male or female?
Surprise.
Leave it.
Okay.
Surprise. Would it matter?
Yes. I might be on time for one, but no on time for the other.
Fair enough, Bridger.
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely.
How's Mrs. Bridger day? He must have been banging with you as high as a kite last night, no letting her watch her programme.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, pal.
How many times did she tell you to shut up last night?
I go in there and I watch that sports scene and things like that. I love this catch up and the analysis. I like to listen to the two dummies that think they know about football and they had very little to say about Rangers. They had a lot to say. The most they spoke about was the penalty, the incident that should have been a penalty. Right? They said at the end. Other than that, I must admit they did praise Rangers, and then that was it done. They went on to the rest of it. So it was. They never showed all the good highlights. They showed a lot of the goals. They showed the goals and some other chances. But there was a lot of the play was wonderful for Rangers last night.
I watched some of the highlights and just in the heat of battle, I never really noticed Arfield. But he influenced the 3 goals. He was involved in the 3 goals, not brilliantly, but just involved in them. And another day, he might have. So maybe I was a bit harsh on my feelings on him yesterday. Once I watched some of the highlights, but you only have to see what you say, as Roy Walker used to say, Foxer.
Well, there was a lot of that game that bypassed the midfield, mate. And I thought people at Scotty Arfield never really get much chance on the ball to influence that much of the game. But we'll talk about that later, I suppose.
Well, I think you'll find, Fox and Oxshire, that Morelos was involved in all the goals. I mean, I thought he did all the running from the edge of the box, running right to the shall we say, the goal line and along it, and then pushed the ball back to Arfield. And Arfield just pushed it back again, and away it went in. And the boy the shot was Arfield that the shot, and Morelos tried to flick it in.
That would have been a good goal. That would have been a good goal.
Just magic.
So that shot was actually poor, mate, if I'm being really honest.
Yeah, of course.
But then he was involved with the third goal when he won the ball, and I think we're going to give credit when I think we're quick to critique Bridge, so we've got to be fair with our credit as well.
I said it the other night, last night. As far as I'm concerned, minimum sevens for our team. There was a couple of 8s and possibly 1 9, which would be Morelos for me. I don't
think we quite played as well as that, mate.
It's just the way I view it. I thought Morelos was the standout player.
I mean, I've seen your DVDs and my football standards are a lot higher than yours.
Aye. For Thornwood, aye, right. Brilliant, pal, brilliant.
Oh, sorry, I apologise. It was actually Pathé News. It wasn't the DVDs.
In black and white as well. You got to laugh, haven't you? You got to laugh. It's brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I'm still not quite come down from it. I was eagerly listening to the news tonight. The STV News spoke about the Rangers game and so on and so forth. And the BBC News never mentioned it tonight. 6 o'clock. Mind you, they might have mentioned it last night for all I know.
I must admit, this BBC thing, it's really affected their attendances, Fox.
Aye, so it is, mate. We're full houses everywhere we go. At Ibrox or on my travels. Our travelling support has been absolutely superb this season, as per normal. And they fairly filled the Tony Macaroni last night as well. Filled it up like an old spaghetti western.
Just a wee shout out to the young boys. I love the passion, I love the enthusiasm for the club, but just watch what you're doing. Cameras and banning orders. People are watching, just be a wee bit cleverer.
You include Stevie for the drum and that.
Oh, Stevie's on it. He can do what he likes, mate. He can run out the centre circle, Stevie.
I love it.
He's allowed to do what he likes because he's a legend. Stevie's a legend, isn't he? I mean, it took me a long time to get somebody decent for Drumchapel, Fox, you know?
Oh, what a shocker you are, boy. The Perrys, absolute shockers.
A lot of good people for the drum. A lot of good people. So, if people want to join us, give us your thoughts on the game yesterday. It was great to hear all the happy voices rather than peed off ones as we had on Wednesday night. And the number is, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online where you were brought in to the call by Old School Blue. Fox, I never heard from you much yesterday. What pleased you and what didn't please you yesterday?
What pleased me the most was our centre backs never dallied about with the ball. That really pleased me. Nothing fancy from them. If in doubt, get it out was the old motto, and that's what I thought they did in that game. They were solid at the back. Pleased me up front was Ryan Kent and Candias both making their way into the box most of the time when the ball went forward. And that paid off for me, especially with the Ryan Kent goal. And at most times that I was watching Rangers attacking on Sunday, we managed to get 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 people into the box when we were in and around it. And the other thing that pleased me was Ryan Jack's strike. Not the greatest of strike, but it just shows you if you shoot from outside the box, there's always a chance of a mistake or a deflection that brings you a goal, and I wish we would do more of it.
Same question to your good self, Bridgeman.
The thing that pleased me most was the way we attacked. We attacked for the back. I was really pleased with Barisic. I thought Barisic has had a really good game, considering he's just come back for a wee bit of injury. Really good for Tavernier. I thought Tavernier had a really good game as well. So the 2 centre-backs were solid. The goalkeeper never did anything wrong. So there your defence laid out, goalkeeper, defence, and then your midfield played outstandingly. And that Candias, man of the match, to all intents and purposes, I think so anyway. And Morelos, I put they two as equal, to be honest, but I'll give it to Candias because he's sheer endeavour. Just amazing display by him. And Kent for that goal, absolutely smashed it. Tore the rigging off. That's what we want to see.
It's football-wise, go. They 2 passes I can do for highlights of great passes in any game, mate. The both to Morelos. And he fluffed his line on both of them. I thought the first one he was very unlucky when he hit the post, mate. That would be.
But when he hit the post with that ball, if he had, I thought he thought he'd scored, and he kind of turned away. If he'd sort of kept going and followed the ball a wee bit, he could have possibly picked that ball up and popped in the net. Because it was just great. It was great to watch. A wonderful display by our team, and really good performance all round. Every single person, good performance for me.
I've just had a PM just to let you know. I wouldn't tell anybody's name on the show, but it's for CC. And he said Charlie Chapman was doing the commentary when Bridge was playing. Anyway, we've been joined by Rudy Bear. Evening, Rudy.
Evening, gentlemen. Evening, Bridge. Evening, Fox and Ox.
How you, Rudy?
How are we doing, mate? I don't know if you heard the question I gave to the. I was going to say lads there, but it was next to a point there to the gentleman. what pleased them, what pleased them, and what maybe didn't please them for yesterday, Rudy?
I don't think there was much that didn't please me, Ox, if truth be told. I think possibly chances maybe we could have taken. If you're going to be hypercritical, you could say maybe they could have, there was another possibility 2-3 chances could have been taken. But really, I wouldn't complain about anything. I wouldn't be critical about anything. So there wouldn't really be anything that displeased me. What pleased me really was the overall work rate. I thought they were back at it again properly, shutting the play down, shutting players down, not giving them a lot of time and space on the ball, to move it about. And that's what pleased me more than anything, was it was a completely different performance to the Kelly game on Wednesday night, It looked like a proper Rangers team out to sort it out and do the business, and that's what they've done. Some of the goals I thought were really, Alfredo's goal was just fantastic, Arfield wins the ball in the midfield, slips it through, Alfredo goes round the keeper, and you're thinking, he's went a bit too wide there. And then he manages to squeeze it into the back of the net, which was probably out of the chances he had, the hardest one in the lot, really, So, pretty much the performance all over the field for me. The endeavour, the energy they put into the match, they played with tempo, they closed players down, didn't allow them time on the ball. That's probably what pleased me more than anything else, really, Ox.
All good stuff. So does that make last Wednesday's performance even more disappointing? Forget about systems and changes and whatever.
Yeah. Frustrating, isn't it? To think that they could have been out and played like that against Kelly, and then drop 3 points, we did do that up for 20 minutes of the game on Wednesday against Kelly, and then daft mistake with Big Joe Worrell, and then it just I don't know, they fell apart for some reason, and I really don't know why, because they've got the quality, they should be in about teams like Kelly with full confidence in themselves and what they're capable of. They showed that in the 29th, and then showed it again yesterday. So, it's frustrating that they dropped 3 points, Ox, again on Wednesday night. And it goes back to something we spoke about last week, consistency of performance. We haven't saw that yet properly, and that's what they need to get to. They need to get to that point where they can be consistent with these performances,
Yeah,
I'll take this to bridge and then we'll come back to you, Rudy. But one of the things we don't seem to be doing, we play well in a lot of games, Bridge, but we don't seem to be get, say, a 1-0 or a 2-1 when we're low playing well. And just do enough, and then you go, one very good, 3 points, let's move on.
Well, actually, I know there's a lot of teams, when they're as a team, can actually do that. They play, they score a goal, and they can close the whole game down and not lose anything, because to them that's a win anyway. I mean, in their mind, of course, physically it isn't, and mathematically it is. It's just that attitude-wise, they kind of shut the game down inside themselves, and they're good enough to do that. I played in a lot of really good teams, and they were brilliant at it, seriously good. But with Rangers, we're the type of team that hopefully our management should be, whether they can or not, should be building them up to the level like you're going to be playing against a team who's going to chase after you and harry you the same as you do against other teams. You need to watch what you're doing and instill that into them. It might take another 5 years with some of the players we've got to get that absolutely spot on for them. I just feel Rangers are a really good team. I watched them. Everybody watched them last night or yesterday afternoon, and what a performance! Fabulous performance. And there should be no pundit anywhere in Great Britain would have any negative to say about the way Rangers played and the goals that they scored. None of them. And if they do, they should be hanging their head in shame, because that was an immaculate game of football. Superb. And that's the way I want to see Rangers playing. And I want the manager to bring them up to these levels, to force them to play at that pace, that tempo, every time they come out in the park. That's what we need.
Fox, I'm going to go to Rudy.
Can you just go to Rudy there first, Paul?
Aye, certainly, mate, Rudy. What I said yesterday, going for Wednesday night there, and
yeah.
And But is it with a new team, young management team? Is it coming, Rudy? Do you feel that it's coming?
I feel that they've got the players there, Ox, to be more consistent in performances. Even when you look at the bench, we've got some real quality on the bench now that we hadn't had in previous seasons. For me, I said this the other day after watching his performance again. Young Ross McCrory's got to be a mainstay now. And I understand that occasionally, Steven Gerrard might want to change the formation, he might want to change, who the starting 11 is. I don't know. I'm starting to think, like Fox keeps saying, as you play your best team. You mentioned natural rotation the other night as well. Injuries, suspensions, stuff like that. That's going to happen. There's not much you can do about that, So obviously you're going to have players change. I mean, we even had Barisic come back last night and had a really good performance after him as well, So consistency is the key word here. We have to play at a higher level against these teams more consistently. I don't expect them to be able to do it for 90 minutes, week in, week out. But it's got to be close to that, though. So if we have any pretensions whatsoever of winning this league title, they have to do it on a regular basis, more consistent at that higher level of performance. If we do, there's very few teams will live with us. Very few, because we've got the quality, we've added more quality as well. So for me, it's all about consistency, Ox,
All right, we're striving for that. We're striving for it.
Yeah. And we're getting there. Come the summertime, we'll add to the squad again. It'll be about quality. You don't need to bulk up the squad now. It's about quality signings now, And I believe the more quality signings we get in, I think it will rub off on the younger players. Ross McCrory's going to be a star for us. It's as simple as that. The boy's got it all. Wee rash tackle yesterday, gets himself booked, but that's enthusiasm.
Bad touch, mate.
But it's enthusiasm, as well. He's wanting to do well. He's wanting to make sure nobody gets past him. He's wanting to do well to get to the ball before anybody else when he gets the opportunity. So there's a wee bit of that, but he'll learn. He'll learn that. That'll come. He's still young. He's still a young guy,
That's his position for me. That or right back.
Totally. I agree with you. I said it last night, Ox. That's his position, because I don't believe we have another player at the club right now. I don't believe we've got another player at the club that can play that position the way he plays it. Simple as that for me. I just don't see it, Ox.
It's the way it's his pace for getting about the park, mate.
Yeah, he's young.
Sorry, already.
He's athletic. He likes a tackle. He wants to win everything. I totally agree with you, Ox. That's his position. Simple as that. It's his position.
Rod, you were coming in there, mate?
I was just going to agree with Rudy and yourself. The boy's certainly got a different way about him this season. He's stood up to it. He's sort of grown up to it. I thought he would be very disappointed with Kilmarnock not getting in, and I would be too if I'd been him. And he's proved it. I'm very pleased for him. He's come out and proved that he's as good as anything they've got in that position, and that position could be his. If he obviously needs to screw his nut and do what he's got to do. Can I also say you were mentioning about the fans coming on the pitch, and they should be very careful. I noticed. I
just said the boys' enthusiasm.
I'm saying that it's enthusiasm, and you know what I think does it? It's Morelos. I think Morelos has got it excites the crowd, particularly youngsters. It excites them greatly, and he scored that goal. The other two goals, there was nobody on the pitch. When Morelos scored, they're on the pitch. It must drive them crazy.
We've been joined by a couple of youngsters who might be able to tell if that's the case. Evening Cushy and evening Travel Rug.
Evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
I'll go to Cushy first for his thoughts on yesterday, and then I'll go to Travel Rug with his thoughts. Cushy.
I was really pleased with the team selection, the formation, and the performance that we put in. I felt, bar maybe Goldson, that is probably our strongest team at the moment, even taking into account the signing of Davis and Defoe, etc. So I was really pleased to see it. I was just disappointed that we didn't play it against Kilmarnock, but that's water under the bridge now. But I was also pleased to see that Gerrard had rectified that the mistakes that I felt he'd made in terms of the team selection information in the Kilmarnock game, and he wasn't too, didn't get too stubborn and just try and stick with the same guys. He seems he's made a major error, I think, and he's rectified it and put out a strong team, and I felt that was really reflected in the performance. It was I think it was a good all-round performance, albeit a bit of luck with the first goal to kind of make that breakthrough. But I always felt that once we'd made that breakthrough, that was it. There was not going to be any way back for Livingston. And then when Ryan Kent scored his goal, as soon as we get that bit of breathing space where an extra goal, the game's finished. There's just simply no way Livingston or any team that plays in the manner that Livingston do, I feel, are going to come back. And it was just disappointing when you look back on it that Morelos hit the post when we were 1-0 up against Kilmarnock, because if we go 2-0 up at that stage, that game's finished as well. So it's fine margins. I think we've been guilty this season of letting teams back in a little bit. The Hibs games are probably certainly at Ibrox is a point in question. We were 1-0 up. We didn't get the second goal, and then Hibs got an equaliser with 5 minutes to go. So I've been a little bit guilty of that throughout the entire season, to be honest with you. Even the first game of the season it happened to us. But as soon as you get that second goal, game's finished, and it's something I think that we need to do a lot more of. But by and large, I was absolutely delighted with everything about the game yesterday.
Travel?
I just just what Cushy says. I thought we played really well. Played some lovely football at times. I mean, everybody likes to slag the surface, but I think we proved yesterday that we can actually play on that surface and play some decent football. But we're back to something Rudy was saying. The boy McCrory's even take the game on the 29th. He was man of the match for me then, and then I was really disappointed with the manager when because he'd said that the position was his, by the fact that he was suspended against Cowdenbeath. For him not to then play against Kilmarnock, because I think he makes such a difference. I think he doesn't only make better players of Ryan Jack, but I think he protects the defence a lot more than any of the other players that play that position. And maybe that was a key to Worrell looking a lot more settled. So I was very impressed with us yesterday, and it's always a blow after losing the game against Kilmarnock to come out with a performance like that. You know that they can do it, but why can they not do it every week? And that's maybe you were talking earlier about consistency, or a young team, or still trying to find their way. Are we fragile? Are we just a wee bit psychologically struggling a wee bit, that we just a wee knock and our confidence goes? I don't know, but I just wish we could put teams away and dominate the way that we did against Livingston. I mean, you think of the last time we went there, we got destroyed.
Pathetic performance.
Absolute shadow of a team compared to what turned up there yesterday.
Yeah,
and we demoralised them. They had to change their system.
Back, and I don't think there was a lot of difference in our team.
Probably no.
I'm going to look back. I will look at that Travel, yeah.
But you're right, Travel. I mean, that was one of the worst performances of the season. In fact, probably the worst performance of the season. I thought season was the 1-0 defeat at Livingston. That was a performance.
But you then showed that against yesterday's performance. So you could argue that was probably our best away performance of the season.
Did we not play against Livingston like we did against Motherwell with a wee bit fear, as opposed to somehow our managers managed to get that out of them and let them go in their faces and harry them?
Do you want the team for that day?
Go on then, sorry.
No, sorry, Bridge. Was McGregor, Worrell, Borna, Golson, Tav, Arfield, Koulibaly, Lafferty, Candeias and Morelos.
Quite a different team. There's no Ryan Kent, who gave them problems all day yesterday, and McCrory, who he seems to be becoming so vital to that to that team in the way that we seem to just keep driving. He just has there's just something about him. He seems to win more tackles. He seems to win more headers. And then when he gets the ball, there's nothing fussy about him, is there? He just gets the ball and he plays it forward. He finds one of your players, and before you know it, we're on the attack again. Even when he doesn't, he always seems to go forward. So for me, that's what he does in an offensive thing. You look at the two central defenders looked a lot more disciplined and a lot more settled. I'm trying to work out if maybe Worrell playing on the other side of the defence, or was maybe Worrell a wee bit preoccupied with the big Ulsterman's lack of pace, where he knows that Katic has got a turn of pace. I'm just trying to work out what happened to Worrell. Is he the one that's fragile? But I'll get back to it. McCrory seems to be the boy that's
made a total blunder. Let's be honest.
But wasn't he? But he didn't look good up until the blunder, and then after the blunder, he looked absolutely shell shocked. So, but yesterday, he just seemed. I noticed yesterday, whenever he got the ball, he didn't wait. He either played the ball very, very quickly back to McGregor, or he moved it across. So he didn't try and linger on the ball. So I don't know if he's had a rocket.
The biggest blunder I've seen since that night up at Savoy with you.
And can I just say that the big difference between the Kilmarnock game and the game against Livingston were the two players that weren't playing, in Ross McCrory and Candeias, who both set the tempo in winning the ball back. I think that's a thing that was very evident yesterday. Candeias' work rate, his willingness to track back and win the ball back, seems to set the tempo for some of the players to start closing down. And Ross McCrory brought that to the midfield as well. And between the two of them, when we were not in possession of the ball, those two worked very hard.
Yeah.
And set the tempo, as I say, for the rest of the team to start closing down. That was missing against Kilmarnock for me.
Ox, can I just, whilst the Candeias is discussed just now, see if Southampton come in with an £8 million bid for James Tavernier, I would sell him right now, because in the summer, I would, because in the summer they're going to come back with £15 million for Candeias, because they realise that without Candeias, Tavernier's half the player he is. And they realise they're going to have to come back and say, oh, here.
There's actually a bit of sense in that.
I'm telling you.
Neville and Beckham, mate. When he went to Madrid, there was a few people who mentioned that at the time, you know.
But even Tavernier against Kilmarnock, he looked out of sorts again as well. You put Candeias in there yesterday, and what a player he looks again. Tavernier looks a lot more accomplished, and he looks happier having him there.
I can't believe you get that, and you come to she.
Just come back to the Ross McCrory point as well. I was a bit worried about Ross McCrory for the start of the season, because I didn't really see where he fitted in. You know, he wasn't a centre half. You know, he wasn't a right back. It looked to me as if we're kind of shoehorning him in a little bit into the centre of midfield, and he had a couple of kind of okay games, but nothing that you would really say, right, let's keep that boy in there. But he seems to be settling into the position, and he seems to be finding a niche for himself in a way of playing that he's comfortable with, and he's thriving in the middle of the midfield. And you know, certainly that's all to the good. You know, he has a big physical presence. He's a big lumpy boy, and if he can keep it simple, and just win a lot of the balls, win a lot of the second balls, which is something I think we have sadly lacked the entire season, is winning second balls. But McCrory looks to win them, and if he can keep that up, then he'll start cementing his position there, become the first name in the centre of that midfield, and that's what he should be aiming for. You know, he shouldn't be looking, and Gerrard shouldn't want Gerrard looking at someone else to fill that role as a holding midfield player to protect the back too. So it's really good to see. You know, as a boy that's been brought up, you know, as Rangers. You know, I always, and I'm sure every other Rangers fan prefers these kind of boys been playing over and above, you know, loans and things like that we're bringing in. So I'm delighted to see him actually getting his place, because I didn't even a couple of months ago I didn't see a place for Ross McCrory, frankly, in that Rangers team, because there was other players that I felt were doing we're doing a better job. But it's nice to see him. Nice to see him getting.
And what a couple of coaches he's got to learn off. They weren't bad at their positions. Was Rudy, McAllister, and Gerrard? You know.
As a young player, if you can't learn there for Steven Gerrard and Gary McAllister, then you shouldn't be in the game. Two fantastic proponents of the position, midfield. The two of them are fantastic. We saw what they've done. We sat and watched them, in their heyday, the both of them. I think McAllister was at Liverpool for, 2 years or something like that? But what a player, And Steven Gerrard, well, he's a world superstar, isn't he? So, when Steven Gerrard comes out, and it's a good point that Travel makes, when Steven Gerrard comes out and says about McCrorie, that's his position, what I mean? Future Rangers captain. What a boost to the boys' confidence that must be. And then he drops him for the killer game. We could have done with McCrorie on Wednesday night. It's as simple as that. It was a mistake not to play him, as it was a mistake not to play Daniel Candeias. Because you see this all the time with Tav. When Candeias is in front of him, he's a much better player, Tav, much better player. And for me, Candeias yesterday was man of the match. I appreciate, some people go with Alfredo because he's work rate and everything up front, Harry in their defence, something rotten. I get all that. But for me, Daniel Candeias yesterday was man of the match. That cross for Alfredo when he hit the post. What a goal that would have been if Alfie could have squeezed that in. But man of the match, Daniel Candeias for me. But young Ross McCrorie, he's a Rangers captain of the future. Big Al says he would give him it right now. I'm not so sure I would give him it right now. But I totally understand where Big Al's coming for. I'd give him another season. I'd give him another season to learn under Gary McAllister and Steven Gerrard, and then I'd give him the captaincy because I think he will be at us for years to come.
And you go, Bridge?
I was just going to agree with the guys there and say that, earlier on, the beginning of the year, the way I thought the what's his name? The colour boy we've got as a midfielder, Koulibaly. I couldn't remember his name for a minute. I was thinking that he was a better player than Ross McCrorie. Well, hats off to Ross McCrorie, and I said this 2 months ago, but he started to play and he's playing in the position that he loves by the look of it. And my only concern I've got with Ross McCrorie is when he lunges in, he could either get himself injured or get himself booked multiple times, or possibly even maybe one of these serious ones.
That was one of the points I was making yesterday. He's got to learn the position.
Yeah. So other than that, I think he's an absolute super player.
What's the matter with the captain we've got?
He's not going to be there in a year's time, Fox.
How do you know that?
He won't be. He'll be gone.
Well, he'll be there in 2 days' time, maybe.
Well, Ross McCrorie could go just as well as any other player in my team. By the way, Ross McCrorie's no a shouter and a baller on the park either. Our captain at the moment leads by example.
No, he doesn't.
The way he's go. He's the most consistent player we've had for the last 3 years.
I don't know. I don't agree with there, Fox. Travels made a great point about Candeias and him on that side of the park. See, when Candeias is not there, Tav's a shadow of the player he is when Candeias is not on that side of the park. Good.
There was something I was trying to watch what was happening with the boy Worrell when he made that mistake. I was trying to watch to see what the reaction was with the other players. I was hoping that Tavernier would do a bit of a captain's role and go and whether he'd speak to him, put an arm around him, rollick him, do something, but he done nothing. He done nothing with him. No, well, for what I've seen, he never done anything. But I'm sorry, Fox, I cannot. He doesn't lead by example. If you want to talk about a captain that leads by example, I'll be Richard Gough.
Travel wrong, but come on, you thought Ray Wallace was a good football player. That's all I've got to say. The guy's a lovely bloke, but you know what I mean. Come on. Your opinion. There is in football players.
When Lee Wallace was a captain of our club, you think about the other players that was running about him. Lee Wallace was the best player at the club at the time.
Look at the players he was playing against, mate.
I'm talking about the guys that was at the club at the time.
When Lee Wallace,
you want John Daly or you want Ian Black to be captain at that time?
No, none of them.
When Lee Wallace was captain, he was near a shouter either.
Oh no! I think
another
Lee Wallace
man
was more emotional than, or showed more emotion than what James Tavernier does. I'm sorry, but I'll get back to James Tavernier. we seem to lose a lot of goals down that side, particularly when Candeias isn't there. And I think Tavernier needs somebody strong in front of him. He seems to struggle quite badly without having someone that's positioned to play in front of him, and somebody with a work rate of Candeias.
I'm not disagreeing.
I think James Tavernier is really, really consistent this season. I think his defending's been really, really good. I don't.
It's the drugs he's taking. You've got to take the drugs he's taking into consideration. You know what I mean?
I think season. I think that some of this criticism, absolutely. You know, he was prone to go out of position too far up the park, and the ball over the top was catching him out all the time. But I think I struggle to think of a time this season where he's really been isolated and he's struggled at right back. You know, he's a better player going forward when Daniel Candeias is in the park. There's absolutely no question about that. And Candeias' work rate is absolutely phenomenal. I think any right back would love Daniel Candeias right in front of them. Never mind James Tavernier, but he's been really. I think Tavernier's been really, really consistent this season, really, and cut out the errors. One of the blokes touched on we lose a lot of goals down that wing. When have we done that this season? I'm kind of struggling to think of when Tav's been really isolated and an opposing team's has capitalised on that and actually scored for that side of the park. I think he's been really consistent this season.
Can you come, Mr. Trouble? You're due the right to respond.
Whether he's captain material is a different question, but I would say Ross McCrory may be one for the future, but Ross isn't captain material either at the moment. I don't think he could potentially grow into the role, but the boy's just learning his trade. Gerrard has sheltered him a little bit this season because I think he felt he had too much on his shoulders last season, and the fans suddenly talking about having captain, even Gerrard saying future captain, but us talking about him being captain, I think it's a little premature. I think the boy has had 2, 3, 4 good games this season where he's really stuck out in a Rangers jersey, and I think he should just simply concentrate on cementing his position, improving his game, and then the captains will take care of it.
The rest will fall. Travel. And you come, mate. You right to reply, and then we'll go to Rudy.
I'm not going to argue what Cushy was saying there about giving young Ross the time, but I just think there's a potential there that the boy will be hopefully with us for a long time, and he just seems to be able to carry himself and hopefully with a bit more exposure, and we will be looking hopefully at the future captain of the club. Regarding the Tavernier's defensive frailties, without sitting looking through the goals that we've lost, and my memory's not that great. The one game, the most recent game that I can remember would have been the 29th, when the only chance that they got was when they had the goal disallowed, and I'm pretty sure that went down Tavernier's side, and what?
And who get took off for no going with his runner?
Candeias get took off, but I would still blame Tavernier for that.
It was Candeias that never tracked his runner, mate.
In fact, I'll come. No, it's now starting to come back to me. I remember against Hibs, the game against Hibs, their goal came down that side, and I called in no long after it saying how Lennon kept telling his team to push down their left or right, because he was targeting.
As much as I like Candeias, who went out to croak the close and stood with his arms out and let the ball cross it?
Where was this? Against who?
Against Hibs on the just before the 27th.
No, I can't remember that.
It was Candeias.
But I remember. All I can remember is Lennon telling his team
just
to do that.
So you know, it was
so you're blaming
Candeias. Right in front of where you sit. No, I'm just saying.
Candeias for the goals.
You're saying it comes down Tav's side.
It did come down Tav's side.
But it's a whole side of the park, mate. It doesn't mean it's his fault.
But so I'll get back to if I'm a right back, I want to learn to defend first. And then if you want to have the glamour of going and hitting crosses and hitting free kicks, then fair enough. But you know what? Sort out your defensive side first as a right back. And I just don't know that Tav is the best right back or is the greatest right back that I've seen there.
Oh, it's not the greatest right back I've seen. Jeez,
no, but recently.
At your age, you've seen Shearer, you've seen You know what I mean? You've seen some greats, mate.
When you see Gary Stevens playing there,
aye, what a player! When Goff came in at right back, when you know,
Rudy's sitting there crying, desperate to jump in. So
Rudy Bear, in he come, mate.
Just to go back to the Ross McCrorie thing, here's a wee stat for you, right? Ross McCrorie has started 9 games this season. See, of the 9 games that Ross McCrorie started, we haven't lost a single one of the games. We've won 7, we've drawn 2 of them, and we've only conceded 3 goals in the 9 games.
Was that in the league, mate? Because I think he started Vienna.
Yeah, that's domestic. I'm talking about the league games here. Right. 9 games, and we haven't lost any of them. We've won 7 of them, and we've only conceded 3 goals in those 9 games. There's an interesting stat for you. Is that
was James Taverner playing in the games?
Probably.
Can you stop being so negative, by the way? You keep taking it back to Tav.
Is that because
McCrorie man a valid question?
Back 4? I would think that's got a big part to play in it. You know, to say that Ross McCrorie's only had 3 good games this season, I don't agree with that in the slightest. Stats always speak for themselves, and that is a big stat to me. 9 games, haven't lost any, conceded 3 goals in the 9 starts that Ross McCrorie has had this season. He's been a big part of that for me. Big part of that.
I mean, in 9 games he's played, if he's been outstanding in 4 or 5 of them, he's doing pretty good, mate.
Of course he is. You look at some of the performances that we've seen for some of the, let's say, more experienced pros that are in the team, against the likes of Dundee, against the likes of Livingston, Kilmarnock the other night. There's been times in the first half of the season, and even the other night, when the more experienced professionals haven't exactly covered themselves in glory. You know what I mean? And really, for that stat, I mean, that's quite striking, that stat for me. 9 games, 3 goals conceded, and we haven't lost any of them when he started in the first 11.
That's impressive, and it makes you wonder why he didn't start against Kilmarnock, doesn't it? If you're looking at the simple stats, and it makes you wonder why he didn't start him and have Candeias on, given the general all-round game that Candeias brings.
I think about the other night was about squeezing in Davis and Defoe. That's what it was. Change the system to fit the 2 into a team, and it failed because we lost the game. It's as simple as that,
Yeah, you're right. And even if we won the game, it might have failed because we didn't look comfortable for the large part of the game. No. Talking about experienced pros, we've been joined with Boz. Evening, Boz.
Good evening, people. How are we doing?
Evening, Boz. Well,
hello there, Boz.
Research is a fantastic thing, isn't it, Rudy?
Aye, you're right, Bozo. I learned off the best, mate. I learned off the best.
Nothing. Statistics can tell you anything.
Aye.
You've just got to be careful how you use them. But I think that's a good start, because I think that McCrorie, I felt he was treated very unfairly last season because we were so stinking the second half of last season. Whenever McCrorie played, the pressure that was on that boy to perform was outrageous.
Huge. So it was.
And I sometimes think that when we have a situation like that, that can hinder our boys' progression more than anything else, because so much is expected of him. And remember, was it at the start of the season when he went out and he was injured? We were even crappier than we were when he was in the team before, and all the pressure was on him. And we just were relying on a young boy like that. And when there was older professionals, much more experienced round about him, that couldn't do anything, and here's this kid coming in, but that's the sort of support that we are. Is that, you pin your hat in something like that, and it's just not fair at all. But I'm glad that the manager now seems to be taking a much more pragmatic view on McCrorie, and he's managing him now. He was out the team. Older managers used to do this. Kids playing well 3 or 4 games, bring him out the team just to manage him again, manage that expectation. And I think he was quite right to take him out the team against Kilmarnock, but I don't think it was a good situation for the Kilmarnock game, because our application was poor, and by changing the system, I just felt that we were poor. But then yesterday, I thought there was desire. And the thing I liked about it more than anything else yesterday was no nonsense. There was none of this Joe Worrall faffing about. Get it out and just reset your positions again. And I thought I was really pleased to see that. Reset the position and let's get back. Except to throw in is maybe 5-10 yards for the corner flag, but just calm down and do it.
Can I just say, and I think that's some good points there, boys. See Worrall, I mean, do the piece. If I've been overly struck with Joe Worrall, he had a couple of good tackles on the 29th. We were off full of adrenaline, and he had a good match. There's been games when he's looked okay, and other times he's looked like Bambi and Ice, Dundee away. Livingston the first game.
Livingston the first game is thinking.
But
he wasn't alone that game.
No, of course he wasn't. But and then obviously made that ricket. But to be fair, he showed a bit of character yesterday.
Yeah.
To come back in and be, and he never done a lot wrong. But he done more right just by clearing these lines, and maybe he's learned for that ricket.
I think he's going to have to do a lot to win back the support after that situation against Kilmarnock, because I mean we had that game completely under control, and then that happens. But then that happens, and then the question I ask is, where was the team ethic at that point? Because something like that should galvanise a team that are confident in playing well in the first 20 minutes. Just when that happened, you think, there's a psychology problem here. If we're so fragile that one thing like that can go wrong and then the wheels completely come off, which they did, and there was, I mean, we could have played till the 5th of July, and we still would never have got an equaliser, never. We were so far away from it.
Boys, I think that's maybe part of where my frustration comes with the captain. But in situations like that, I just want to see something, some sort of display or some sort of. Just show me something to try and rouse.
You want to see a bit of fist pumping or something like that? I'm going to be flip when I say that.
Fist pumping, however you want to dress it up, but I want to see some sort of emotion to say, right, we've made an ass of this here, but we're all going to work hard to turn that around. And we don't see. I'm getting back to the Richard Gough, Terry Butcher type captain, where they would be harrying it. Barry Ferguson would be moaning the face off of people because he wants them just to lift their game, and that's not what I'm seeing. And I'm sorry if Fox thinks that I'm continually going after Tav. It's just because I can't see anything like this. And to say that he leads by example, he's not.
Do you know what I think the situation is here is that was then and this is now, and I don't think captains behave like that now, because football's a different game. There's much more selfishness in the game now. And it's about how I play.
He's a dinosaur, mate. Fox, are you coming in for the right to reply?
Watch, because if you move in front of him, he'll just eat you.
No.
I'm all right. Rudy's here.
He'll eat you.
He'll eat you, Fox.
Can I come in on the Worrall thing, Fox?
Yeah. And you come. Fox
I was just going to say, as far as the Worrall situation is concerned, I was very pleased for him last night, because I watched that ricket he had the other night against Kilmarnock, and as you asked me the question, I said the other night, as far as I was concerned, I would have whipped him off, because I thought his career was going to die there and then for that to happen to anybody. However, he caught himself up a wee bit, managed to finish the game, which is all good for him. But really and truly, it was to be trusted in a game that's so important, mega game for us, huge game, and to be trusted again. Manager put his faith in him, and he repaid the faith, and that could be his career resurrected. Admittedly, only after one ricket, but well done. I'll take my hat off to him. Well done, pal. Well done.
I know he made a mistake, but we had 60 minutes or 65 minutes to sort it out. And there are another 10 players on that pitch that but there's 9 other players that could have pitched in to help that boy out and try and turn it around. And
arguably, Travel, apart from the ricket, Macaulay's performance was maybe poorer than Wally's, Worrall's in defence. But when you make such a ricket, you're always going to go into the spotlight a lot. And goals change games, and we were coasting, and it was a balloon. All the air just seemed to suck at us, and we couldn't get it back in.
The Worrall thing, Ox, would you say that it was a mistake? It was his mistake. It wasn't a forced mistake. It was him Nobody else. That boy came down, and all he could have done was just turn it around and out the park. And that's what was happening yesterday. There was a situation where Katic just a bouncing ball between Katic and his runner. The guy just headed it out, reset your position, and sort it again. Get back into your positions, and then you can clean yourself for there.
Yes.
Just talking about centre halves, and I'll go around the panel. I'll go to Bridgman first. As Katic quickly became. Is he looking as if he's one of our first choice centre halves in a game in a wee bit? And one of them being friendly?
Sorry, I think that his performance against Livingston was good. And I thought it was he played well with Worrell. So I don't think there's any Rangers fan would say or criticise him too much. Much like Boz said, is when in doubt, just put the ball out, get yourself reset, but get the defence back again. And that's really good stuff. And that's what you need. And if you've got a good captain in your team, he'd be up there saying, well done, and that's what you need to do. There's no airs or graces, and he has got that threat when he goes up for corner kicks and free kicks. So I think I'm not saying he's going to be a first-time start. When Goldson goes back, it might be a fight between Macaulay and the other two to play with Goldson, because I think Goldson has been, to me, the better centre-half all through the season. But I do like Katic. And I think he was not unfairly treated, because that's not the word. I think he was unfortunate. He got an injury and got cut lines, yeah. So he's got himself back in, and he's a big fella, takes no nonsense, and a lot of folk like that. And a lot of Rangers fans have been waiting for him to come back in. So he's got his foot back in the door again. Let's hope he can keep it there.
Cushy and then Rudy.
I think our first choice centre back pairing should be Goldson and Katic. If they're fit, that's who it should be. I think Katic is a better player than Worrell. I think he's far more no nonsense, as Bridgman has just said there. I think he's just got a little bit more quality, and he looks more comfortable just in the left hand side of the centre. Far more comfortable than Joe Worrell does. So it's always been a mystery to me this year why Katic has spent so much time on the bench and Joe Worrell's been picked in front of him. I'm just not. I realise there was injuries at some point, and there's been rumours of he's got some domestic issues in terms of his family potentially. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I would have Katic in my team. It was funny yesterday watching the game because I was kind of saying at the time watching it that Katic just looks as if he's got a bit of quality, and it was just at the time that he put the ball on his left foot and ballooned it out the side of the park into the stand. Kind of typical. As soon as someone says something out loud, that's what happens. But I really like Katic. I don't understand why he's not played a lot more games for us. I touched on it in the last call a couple of days back. Joe Worrell's alone and Katic is not. We'll pay good money for the boy. He's 21. He, as far as I'm concerned, he's the player that we should be bringing on as a club, not Joe Worrell.
I think that's a good point Cushy makes there, Ox. He's our player. We paid money for him. He's 21-year-old. He's still learning his trade. You know yourself, centre-backs don't mature until later on in their career. He's 21-year-old guy. He's a young
73.
guy. He's still a young guy as far as centre-backs go. He's got loads to learn yet. I mean, at the beginning of the season, we were raving about him. First couple of months of the season, we were absolutely raving about Katic. We'd found a rough time, and this boy was a real player. He was going to be something else, Him and Goldson together, I thought were fantastic, for the first few games of the season. Then he seems to have had a sticky patch, as there is strong rumour about his family problems, as Cushy's just said there, and it's maybe knocked the boy back a wee bit. Maybe he was not been totally up for it in training. His mind's been elsewhere. Hopefully now that's that all sorted out. I like his style, and I think he's a threat in the air at corners and set pieces. Scored in the friendly match, and won plenty of headers yesterday. I mean, I heard another rumour that they didn't think he was great in the air. I'm like, who is great in the air? Because Goldson's not great in the air. I don't think.
I don't think it was so much. It was Boss coming down the old traditional centre half throat.
Yeah. I mean, Warren was hopeless, absolutely hopeless in the air. You know, so, but to play Worrall ahead of Katic, for me, if Katic has been fit, you know, apart from when he's had the injuries, obviously, but when Katic has been fit and he's had to sit on the bench and watch Joe Worrall, I don't know, what does that do to a young player's head? You know, a player that's been actually signed by Rangers, you've paid money for this guy, yet you're developing a loanee from Nottingham Forest, who we all know at the end of the season has gone back to Nottingham Forest, and I'm totally fine with that, you know, because Worrall's know what we need going forward. Katic, for me, has got to get back playing again. After his performance yesterday, I think we've got to get back to playing him again. I don't know. I don't really understand, in all honesty, and I said this before, I really don't understand what Steven Gerrard sees in Joe Worrall, because I can't see it. I really can't see it. You know, I think more times than not, I think he's been a bit of a bomb scare, like you say, Ox yourself, Bambi and Ice. And it's, I don't know, to claim he's a £10 million player, Forest, well, I don't know. I just don't understand that at all. But for me, it'd be Katic. After his performance at the weekend, you give him a run in the team, you let him boy get his confidence back. No nonsense. If there's a problem, the ball goes straight out the park. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what centre backs are meant to do.
Tushy?
Oh. You hear me? Sorry. I think. Yeah. I agree. As I said just previously, you know, I think that's what, you know, Katic goes as the centre half pairing. So as Rudy said, I'm not quite. I just don't see why Worrall just seems to keep getting the nod ahead of Katic. It just all seems a bit. It's just always seemed a bit strange to me, because I think you touched on it earlier when he first came. You know, the boy just looked a defender. He just looked a really good defender for us, and for him to kind of slip out the reckoning has been really disappointing. But I'm hoping now that he's in, and I'm hoping he gets a run this getting in and out of the team. You know, I hope when Goldson gets fit again, you know, it's not Goldson and Worrall, because that would, frankly, that would really annoy me. You know, I like seeing the guys that we have signed, such as Barisic and Katic, etc. Those are the boys. They're Rangers players, and you know, those are the players that I want to see in a Rangers jersey and performing in a Rangers jersey week in, week out. And they're only going to get better. You know, Barisic has just walked into the team. You know, he's been stop-start as well. You know, he needs to get a run of games, because the quality in his left foot is absolutely unbelievable. But he needs games, and so does Katic to get up to speed as well. You know, so and the only way you get him is if Steven Gerrard picks him. You know, you can't keep chopping and change it, bring in Goldson and have a Goldson Worrall, and then Katic just sitting on the bench again. You know, that it just doesn't make sense to me, and I hope that Katic starts to get a run, because all right.
But I'll come back. I'll hear us the boys for after we have a tune. Boys, there's sometimes the problem with loan players, we don't know the small print. Come back to that. Everybody get on mute. We're going to have a tune. Oh, thanks for that. Well, good. Thanks for that, old school. I think it was a bit premature when the first one finished. Well back.
Story of your life.
Oh, well, I'm not denying it, mate. I'm not denying it. Boswell, just quickly on the moral sort of thing, and is that the problem? I think our manager intimated that we had met our part of the deal up until the start of January, and it meant that Worrell could stay with us for the rest of the season. So these loans, sometimes the devil's in the detail.
I think with everything like that, it's, the support, quite rightly, are not privy to any detail like that because it's personal, it's a contract, and it's the business of the club and the player and the agent. The thing that does kind of disturb me a bit about this is because we have such poor journalism in this country, no one's asked Stevie G, why do you play a lone player in front of a player who is actually contracted to the club full time? Because if we did have decent journalists in Scotland writing sports pieces, that question would have been asked because it would have been asked before. And so there is one problem that we all have in Scotland because the journalism's so poor that the manager is not asked the question that we all want answered, because I'm sure that this wee group of people on here are not the only Rangers supporters that are asking the question, why is Katic not being played in front of our own player? Because I think, from what I understand, Katic had, in my opinion, maybe one dodgy game against Hamilton, and he's found it difficult to regain his place. Would that be fair enough?
Let's go over that before somebody comes in and comes up with something else. I mean, he was horrendous that day, but that's a fair comment.
Yeah, but Joe Worrell was stinking last Wednesday.
But so was Gareth McCauley.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is that we need to balance these things, and I think Katic presents more of a threat in the 6-yard, in the opposition's 6-yard box at corners. I mean, he's scored a few goals for us this season from that very position. Joe Worrell doesn't represent any threat in that position.
Can I just say that the system we play, we're expecting our centre halves to be like Piqué and Ramos at Real, mate. Look, the four centre halves we've got are all got a mistake in them. We've seen Goldson make mistakes. We've seen McCauley make mistakes. We've seen Katic make mistakes. These things happen in games. And when you ask your central defenders to play out for the back, you're always prone that one of them's going to make a mistake.
Certainly at our level, Fox, I think that's fair enough. Yeah.
And these things happen. It's up to the rest of the team to bail out the defence when they make mistakes and get us back into the game. Joe Worrall's mistake let Kelly into the game, but it didn't cause the defeat.
No, I agree with that.
And as for the bit about Katic, how does MD know that they've deliberately taken Katic out the job? He is our player on a 4-year contract to work on him in the background. It might not be a case of favouring Joe Worrall. They may just think that Worrall had what was required to play out for the back, which has turned out not to work out so well either.
I completely agree with all of that, Fox. I think you're absolutely right. But I think it's that it becomes a question within the support, because there are, I mean, maybe in the past when there was no social media, it wouldn't have been an issue and people would have spoken about it in pubs and on the bus, but that would have been it. But now, because there's things like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and platforms such as this, it becomes a talking point in the public domain where people can hear it and it becomes a thing.
Correct.
You can't get away from it, no post.
I just think as a support, we always look at the negatives first before we look at the positives. And in most games this season, they've done reasonably well.
I think the playing out for the back though is a bit of a red herring, is it not? Because I want my two centre halves to defend.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Stop. And when you look at the Kilmarnock game, in terms of the defending from both Macaulay and Worrall, they had two things to do the entire game, and they fluffed the lines massively at both times, with Macaulay backing off Jones for the second goal. It was absolutely shambolic, a shambolic display from both the central defenders. But that's not to say that, I agree with the guys that the rest of the team had a job to do, and we in terms of trying to score more goals. But when you're asking your defenders to do two things the entire game and they completely fluff the lines, then it's a struggle. So but I don't. Macaulay's never going to play the ball out to the back. He's not that type of player. And if Worrall can't do it, or Katic can't do it, or Golson can't do it, whoever, all I want those boys to do is defend. And if we're trying to play it out to the back, I want my central midfielders to come and just take the ball off them. I touched on it the last time on this show that I remember Barry Ferguson coming deep and just saying to Colin Hendry, just give me the ball, please, rather than
just what Hendry
used to do, just lump it up the park. Just take the ball off them. That's what, for me, that's what the central midfielders are there to do. It's not for the central defenders to spray the ball about like David Luiz does and things like that. Those boys are there. Golson can do it on occasion. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not really expecting them to do that. All I want them to do is stop the goals getting in. And as far as I'm concerned, if we are attacking and we're in possession, then I want the likes of Ryan Jack and Ross McCrory and Stephen Davis, to just take the ball off the central midfielder and then you get the ball into the midfield and guys that can actually find a pass and do something. That's all they need to do. And if I was a central defender, I wouldn't be averse to that. I'm there to stop the goals. When we're moving further up the park, I'd be quite happy to give it to Ryan Jack. But what annoyed me about the Kilmarnock game was the gap between our central midfielders and our central defenders. It sometimes was really, really big, and that should never be the case. And I was screaming at Ryan Jack to go deeper, and get on the ball. And there seemed to be a little bit of a lack of commitment. A lack of authority from our central midfielders in terms of just taking the onus and taking the ball off the central defenders and moving forward. And it was I thought it was really obvious. Now, everybody's saying Stevie Clarke said that just give the central defenders a ball. Well, why would we as a Rangers team allow that? Why would our midfielders not be coming deep and taking the ball? Every top-class midfielder that Rangers have had in the past has done it. I remember Gascoigne coming so deep sometimes it was unbelievable in an Old Firm game. He had the ball on his own 18-yard line. So, it's just, I think it's it's a bit of responsibility, I think, that our central midfielders just need to be aware of, that we can't, don't give the ball to central defenders who are typically on the park the least creative people. You know, why would we do that? Get somebody that is actually got a bit of creativity about it, that can find a pass and go and take the ball off them.
Well, I'd agree with that, mostly, mate. But also, our fullbacks should be available to take the ball, especially for the goalkeeper. I think they pushed forward too quickly when we were in, when the goalkeepers got the ball, and they leave the only two open people in front of them as the two centre backs, and that's inevitably where McGregor gives the ball to. And maybe it's a case the fullback shouldn't push as far forward as soon as we get control of the ball. Maybe they should wait and pick up the ball and start the moves on the wings rather than throwing it out to the two central defenders. Anybody else like to comment on that?
I think that's a good point that you've just made there, Fox. I agree with that. I think too often they push up the park too soon, you know. It's like everything else, though. I mean, Cushy makes a good point. Your central midfielders have got to come back and help out more often. They've got to take the ball off the centre backs. No, you don't always have to play out for the back, you know, as such. We are expecting your centre backs, you know, their centre backs, you know, they're up playing in Scotland for a reason, you know, so you can't expect too much of them, you know. And as Cushy says, they're there to stop the ball going in the back of the net. That's their main job. That's what they should be doing on a weekly basis. And as long as they do that, we keep a clean sheet, they get the job, they get the jersey come Saturday. So for me, I'd rather just see them, you know, see if it comes to actually having to just punt the ball out the park, you know, to clear the danger. That's good enough for me, you know. For me, that's what a centre-back's meant to be doing. It doesn't matter about whether he can play out the back. You shouldn't even be asking them to and putting so much pressure on the back four like that. They've got enough pressure on them as it is without that.
So for me, skillful players in the team.
Sorry, Boswell.
Exactly, Boswell. You're right. You hit the nail on the head, you know. And it should be up to them to do the work coming out for the back, you know. So that's where, and it's like I keep saying, week after week after week, you win and lose games in your midfield. That's where you win and lose games.
Reg, you were coming in there.
I was coming in there, pal. I was just going to say that what the boys are saying, just got the hard back a wee bit. That was from Kilmarnock. We didn't have McCrory there. And you could see the difference for yesterday to last Wednesday, where you've got McCrory playing the defensive mid-role, and he's there to pick the ball up and move it around, and did very successfully. I'm afraid I think it was Cushy that mentioned that Ryan Jack wasn't coming back far enough to pick the ball up. Possibly should have come back right up to the guy and take it off him and move it apart. That's one way of looking at it, and it looks like that's what happened. In some instances, not in all of them, but Ryan, the difference between Ryan Jack playing the defensive mid and McCrory playing defensive mid is quite night and day now. It shows the boys got a lot of going for him in that position, for sure.
That John Eustace position. Who would ever forget that?
He's nearly ready. He's nearly
there.
It's 7 to 10 days vigil we started. That's the copyright Jordan Rossiter, isn't it? 7 to 10 days. Poor guy. See, there's talk of him going out on loan.
Not a bad thing for them, Buzz.
I think. Well, they were saying he might go to Motherwell. I want him to go back down south and play in a better level. But it's whether he gets a game is the other issue as well. And I thought on Saturday, I saw the highlight, and I thought Greg Docherty was fantastic for Shrewsbury. Scored an absolutely stunning goal as well, and just so tenacious, and I really rate him. I think he looks good.
He's doing so well, boys.
He is. He's taking his chance, and he's going to be down there for the whole year. And I think there's nothing like that kind of development. He's away from home. He's having to do things and make decisions for himself, and I think that so much develops some people. And I really hope it works for him. And it seems to be helping his game no end.
He also had a fantastic shot, Boswell.
Yeah.
Brilliant shot with the keeper as well. Brilliant, absolutely superb.
That's his second goal in FA Cup this year.
Yeah.
wee story that a group of bears were going to watch him against Fleetwood. He got a message. He met them outside the Grun.
Yep.
Gave them complimentaries, and then saw him after the game. People he didn't know.
It's what he is. He's one of us, Ox, and he's a good ambassador for our club. And as people are speaking highly of him down here, and I'm just so chuffed for him, because I think when he didn't get in our pool for this season for our club, and he went out and loaned, people thought that's the road to nowhere, that. But I think he's taken his chance and he's playing at a higher level than he would have been playing, because the way it's looking, he might not have got in. He probably wouldn't have got in the side this season. But I think this move has really galvanised his career, and it's developed his game. And he's the sort of player that our midfield really needs, because we don't have a player that will take the ball from inside his own half and drive right into the centre of the opposition. We don't possess a player like that. And unless Stevie G buys somebody, I think Greg Docherty will come back and play that position.
Boswell, the Blue Shadow in the lobby there has been going on about this for the last 3 months. He said that he should be come back up. We could have got him in January. They should have brought him back in January, kind of thing.
Better for the development.
Who would you replace in the midfield yesterday to bring in Greg?
Oh no!
No! We're not saying that now. I'm certainly not saying now. I'm saying maybe a year. You're looking at McCrory, Greg Docherty, and Kamara as the midfield.
Good shout, pal.
And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what I'm saying is all those players are players that are available to us, and that could be our midfield going forward, because they all offer different things.
Well, I'll be interested to see how it goes, because some of the boys in the lobby and the panel have been fans of Docherty, and personally speaking, I didn't think anyway at the time that he was actually Rangers class. I don't think we should have signed him.
What's your think now, Bridge? Because I might mean
I don't know.
One night. What do you think about him now then?
I don't know. I've only saw a wee snippet of him playing the other night there, or the other day, and he scored a cracking goal, had a screamer of a shot, and I think he was involved in, unfortunately, giving the goal away, shall we say, made a wee mistake, and they get their goal. But other than that, I've got no complaints at all about young Greg Docherty. If he's good enough and he comes back, he'll show it. But at the time,
if he's better than what's there, because
I doubt it very much.
I think the quality to improve throughout the team. Want to plateau in terms of the quality, and I'm at this stage, and I've seen some of Greg Docherty this season, albeit on highlights and things like that. And it's very hard to kind of ascertain in the league he's in if that's going to, if you can take that form and transpose it into the SPFL, and if it's even remotely like it, because some of the goals he scored have been worldies down there, and I've not really seen that kind of form for when he played for us briefly up here. So I don't know if he's better quality than what's there at the moment.
What I would say in his defence, though, Cushy, see when we brought him in for Hamilton, he was Hamilton's best player, right? We brought him in for Hamilton, in my opinion, he was their best player. When they beat us 2-0, I was at that game. He was the man of the match for me, right? So when we brought him into Rangers, we were a basket case. We were an absolute basket case when he came in. And for any young player to come in and having to try and fit into, what we were doing at the time, was just so much out there. It just wasn't going to happen for him, I didn't think. I think it's great that he's doing there. He's picking up Man of the Match awards regularly. Picking up Man of the Match awards. He's having some great performances. They absolutely love him down there. Even he's got a 4-year contract. Even if it's a case of next season, you up his level next season.
I think we were on again. Weren't we talking about that earlier when we thought he was going to go on loan to, was it Preston, which is a league up? Now, so I would have no problem in going a 6-month loan at a higher level and see how he does. But I think, this is the problem that we sometimes have as a support, is we want Barcelona midfielders. on a Glasgow Rangers budget, and we are so unrealistic about exactly what we want and what we see, and we have no patience, absolutely none. And the only people that are really disappointed in the end of the day is us, because we just can't cope with where we are against what our expectations are.
I'm in agreement. I said when he went down to Shrewsbury that he still had a future at Ibrox.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. I hope his whole season at Shrewsbury turns out to be a success. And like you, I'd like to see him move up to the Championship. If we can loan him out again for another year, and then we'll reap the benefits of it. I think it's still too early for him to come back.
Yeah, I agree with that, folks.
And knock out some of the players that we've now signed. So another year at a higher level would do that boy a world of good.
See, the same might happen with Glenn. Sorry, Ox.
On you go, boss.
The same might happen with Glenn Kamara. He might come in the summer and immediately go back out and loan again.
Correct.
You see, sometimes with somebody like Doherty, first of all, you've got to get a shot, like McCrory. When he came into the team centre back, I think it was obvious to a lot he wasn't a centre back. He's found a position. Doherty might end up playing a different position altogether for us. You've got to get in the team and get a shot first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, he's got to be given a chance, and then he's got to be given a chance in the position that is his favourite, his preferred position, because so many players are, and I've probably been there myself actually back in the day. You know, you're playing there and you're out of position, and it's not really, you know, it's not really perfect for you, you know. But so bring him in, give him a chance and play him in his preferred position. But I just don't know where the formation that we've currently got at the moment where he really fits in, and as I said, whether he's really better than what he's got, because I don't really care who the player is at the end of the day. Whether it's Greg Doherty, you know, whether he's been a Rangers supporter all these days or whatever, you know, that would be fantastic if that's a player that's playing at Ibrox, absolutely right. But I would rather a player of better quality than someone who has been a Rangers supporter all their days, because at the end of the day, you've got to, every single manager has got to try and increase the quality in the squad. Now, I'm not suggesting that we bring in, as one of the boys touched on, you know, Barcelona players, and I'm not expecting that quality of player. But what I'm expecting, you know, is a kind of incremental increase in the quality of the team and the squad over the piece. That's what every manager should be striving for. And does bringing back, my only question is, does bringing back Greg Doherty in the summer, or even after 12 months of loaning him out somewhere else, you know, is he then going to increase the quality of the squad? Now, if the manager thinks yes, then fair enough. I've got no qualms with that. In fact, you know, quite the opposite. But all I'm saying is, from what I've seen of him, it's a big leap for him, because I think we are starting to increase the quality in that squad, and I don't think Gerrard's going to rest in his laurels in that aspect. So I think to get back into it, into the next position, Greg Doherty's got a bit of work to do.
Mm-hmm. Could anybody see him being a replacement for Candeias going forward?
No, for me, I don't think that'd be his position. Candeias is just an out-and-out winger, Ox. That's not what Greg Doherty is. But just to touch on what Steven Gerrard said about him, when Steven Gerrard sent him out on loan, he says to him, "Look, son, I want you to go out on loan because you're in my plans for the future." So he's basically sent him down there, have a season down there, see how you go, and get regular football, come back in the summer, and we'll see what happens. So you don't know what's going to happen in the summer. Koulibaly will go. We won't sign Koulibaly.
Nah, he'll go back.
He'll go back to Angers. There's no way we're going to sign him now, because he's just not been consistent enough. I mean, there was a time we were raving about him right up to his probably
his injury, Rudy, yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't really kicked a ball since then, has he?
Not kicked a ball, in my opinion. So he can go back. That's fine, right? So there's one out the door. I'd be surprised come the end of the season if Jordan Rossiter still with us come the summertime, to be honest with you.
Anyway, Rudy, I don't mean to cut across you. I think a caller. I think it might be Denver. I'm not sure. Evening caller.
No, another continent. Good evening.
Oh, sorry, Big Al. You're on my favourites, Al, but how are we doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you, my brown-eyed girl?
Sorry,
I've just caught what you're talking about. I heard there's a wee bit of chatter online and things like that about Greg Docherty. To be quite honest, I've not seen enough of the young guy when playing with Shrewsbury, isn't it?
you got a lot of positive remarks.
That's good, but before he went away, I thought he was quite good, and I've seen a bit of him with Hamilton and that. I thought he was a good player. I think you're talking about who could he... Would he suit maybe a Arfield position? Maybe not so much
possibly,
but maybe a backup to Arfield. You know what I mean? And I think there is a wee bit of deadwood run about the squad. Maybe our captain, our ex-captain, Mr. Lee Wallace. I think he'll be looking for pastures new, like your players like Ross. We need to thin it down a bit, but keep the quality. You know what I mean? So I was thinking maybe Docherty, because he's quite an aggressive wee player, isn't he? And I think we could be doing a wee bit more aggression, controlled aggression obviously, but a wee bit more aggression. And I think he likes to get a wee shot off here and there. That's all good. That gets the Bears off their feet and dancing in the stands. So I would bring him back, but at the end of the season, I wouldn't recall him just now. I'd see how he's progressing.
I don't think we can, Al. I don't think we can.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the politics about it, like, but I don't know the politics.
I understand it was a year's loan.
I like him. I like the wee guy. You know what I mean? I like the wee guy. He's our player. You know what I mean? And I'd rather encourage him to be playing in the first team. Look, ultimately, if he's not good enough, well, there's the door. Thanks very much. I'll have no hard feelings, but I would like to see him succeed. I like to see the types of players at my club succeed. They see the effect, a wee bit of positive he's had on Mr. Andy Halliday. You know what I mean? Great for him, great for us, great for the club, and we can always use that. McCrory's playing well. Keep him in the team. There are guys. They always say like fans are fans of the club and that. To a certain extent, they are. They're no fans like us or use guys that go there week in, week out. But they've got a belief in the club, and they've got a bit of heart for the club. So that's good, having that in with a good work ethic, hard working work ethic, and it's good to have the kind of players on your team that can impart some of that on the other players that come in, players from abroad. You know what I mean? Like a Candias, I think he gets a kind of feeling for the club as well. I think he'll go back to Portugal or wherever he goes in the future. He'll go back a Blue Nose, you know. So.
I think Candias is going to be your sort of next natural noble. He's always going to be welcome wherever he goes with the Rangers family, because he's got a great attitude, you know.
He's not the best player. That's how he's at Rangers, but he certainly gives 100%. I don't think you can really say he's never gave us 100%. He might not play well. He might have a couple of passes go amiss or things like that. But pardon me, I think he does give you 100%, and that's all you can really ask for. That's all you can ask for. Like,
just going back to the Docherty one, I'll take this to Cushy. Graham Murty. The back of last season, with a lot of young boys sort of coming in about, McCrory, Docherty, maybe Morelos himself, and obviously he'd lost it. It would be fair to say that the pressure had got to Graham. I don't want to be too damning on him, but the pressure had got to him. He maybe took all the boys a step backwards, and now they're just starting to come through it again. Took them a few months to get back and go forward again.
Yeah, I think specifically with the Ross McCrory situation, Gerrard said exactly that. There was too much pressure on him. There was just too much being asked of the boy, and I think you could probably take that over a few of our players from last year. To be honest with you, I don't think the whole situation done anybody at the club any favours. With the fallout we had at the tail end, with Miller and Wars, etc. I think it was just a really, really bad time for us. And it's only with hindsight really that you realise how bad a time it was for us. Because the club was shambolic. at the time, and it didn't take us long to get to that completely shambolic state, so not good. And I think with young players, it really affects them more. And it's nice to see, I think, the likes of Greg Docherty going down south, and enjoying his football, and Ross McCreary starting to break into the team and enjoying his football, and Andy Halliday, coming in and doing a job and really feeling as if he's been appreciated as well, because he had obviously a pretty poor time of it last season as well. So yeah, I think it was just I think there was a lot of bad decisions. I think there was a lot of personal decisions made, I think, in the heat of the moment, and I'm glad to see the back of it, frankly, but the change that we've had since Gerrard to come in just highlights how poor a position we were in at May last year.
Cushy, you could also put Alfredo Morelos in there. She come the end of last season. I hardly spoke to a single Rangers supporter who wouldn't have sold Morelos. You look at him now compared to the end of last season. What a difference!
Exactly. No, I totally agree. I think most of the players, their heads were down. And they weren't firing all cylinders. I think Morelos, the whole Morelos situation from the January transfer window, where we had these Chinese bids coming in,
allegedly,
things like that. It was just all. With hindsight, it didn't feel right at the time, but with hindsight, it just looked so amateurish. The whole shebang just looked so amateurish.
Can I suggest something? That, see, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I think those players that went through all that last season, the knockback for McInnes, which in hindsight was an absolutely fantastic, world-changing thing for our club, and then having to pick Graham Murty, and then the complete collapse, I think that makes those players stronger. It affects us at the time, but no one died. And I think that adversity, going through that adversity where you get the hiding of your life off your bitter rivals, I think that only helps those boys understand where they were to where they are now.
Yeah.
It's character building, isn't it? Well, it's character. You look at Andy Halliday, was it Bacau? Yeah.
But I think it's character building. I think it's character building if you get another chance to prove yourself.
You might not get another chance. You might be just.
But if you don't get that, if you're stuck in Azerbaijan and nobody brings you back, I'm not really sure how that's building any character. But it's you're absolutely right. You can learn from it, and you can build on it, and you can take it forward as long as you get the other chance. But
footballers have got to fight for the chance. This is the thing. Is
If Kenneth had come in or something like that, and he doesn't fancy Andy Halliday, and as soon as he comes back for whatever stand he was in, he's immediately sold, it's. I think I agree with what you're saying. Yes, it can be. It's character building as long as you're in a position to learn from the mistakes, and you can take that experience and move forward with it.
Yeah, but that's what a footballer's meant to do. That he's meant to take the whole thing about a footballer's mentality is that it's with a team game, but it's selfishness because it's how they perform within the team structure, and a player can only play himself out of the team. And it's important that he understands that when he's on a training pitch, he is the one that impresses the manager by doing the things that he does, by having the attitude that he has, by taking the action that he does. Footballers either make or break themselves. And there's
I'm not sure that's the case. I think
it's true with anything.
It's a personality-driven game as well. And if you've got the wrong personalities looking after you, if you're 20 or 19 or 20 or 21, and you've got the wrong personalities with the wrong mindsets, and they're in charge of your career, then that can be a struggle for you. And in fact, even older than that, look at Andy Halliday. He's, with hindsight, that boy's shown real resilience to get where he is today. But it could quite easily, with the wrong managers, it could be.
But if that's the case, you move.
It could be knock after knock after knock, and surely those knocks would then affect what you're doing in the training field.
If that's the case, you move. You take the proactive position. You're always in control of what happens to you, so you can always move.
You can move, but I think there's, you're then trying to recover your confidence that has taken a severe knock. You're trying to find some form. I understand what you're saying. It's always in the footballer's hands, but for me, that you can have so many hits that it can just knock your confidence completely, and you're really, really struggling. And there's plenty of footballers just move from club to club to club who just don't seem to fit in.
James Tavernier.
I think Daniel Candeias maybe is a point in that.
James Tavernier is exactly the same player. Jordan Rossiter is the same player.
Footballer, if you talk about
Andy Halliday, himself in a few clubs.
Is it if you talk about a journeyman footballer, Daniel Candeias is the epitome of that. He's the list of clubs he's been at is endless. And yet he seems to have found a club and a support that he appreciates, and appreciate him. And we're seeing that those kind of performances. But if he hadn't came to Ibrox, he could have maybe found another second division Spanish club, and then move on to them after 12 months, and it just seems to be, you just don't seem to find your niche in the game. Could
I suggest to you, Cushy, that Daniel Candeias has a no surrender attitude, and he never gave up, and he eventually gets to where he wanted to be. Like the other players, if they're not successful at one club, you surely move on. And I will slightly disagree with you. I've had a few knocks in my life. I've never let it hold me back. It's the character within you. You will get people that will curl up into a ball and start crying in the corner. And granted, I've maybe done that a few times, but I've slapped myself in the face and got back up. They players are doing that. For Andy Halliday to make the step to go to Azerbaijan, I don't know if it was his choice or whatever, but I'm sure he would have other options, maybe to go to a club in England, the first division or something. But to say, no, you know what, I'm going to go to here, go for the experience, see what it's like. That takes a lot of cojones to do a thing like that, I think, anyway, personally. And I think he's a better man for it.
James Tavernier, he finds himself, and James Tavernier had 6 or 7 clubs before he came to us. It's about players finding the environment and the level that suits them.
I don't think James.
There's also a bit of luck.
Oh, absolute luck, absolutely.
We're not talking about players here that are just trying to find a place the way Candeias is. We're talking about a management and the way the club is that feels that is making the players that they have feel as if they're simply not wanted and they're not particularly good football players. Now, you're absolutely right. They can move on. All I'm saying is that, if you get that at 19 or 20, it's a fair old hurdle. And if things don't go, just to want to at your next club, it can be a bit of a snowball effect, and you can find yourself out in a bit of a footballing wilderness. That's kind of the point I'm getting. And I think, to sum it up, our club at that time was doing every single one of these players absolutely no favours, and it's absolutely brilliant to see that we've actually got a management team in and a coaching staff in now that appears to know exactly what they're doing with these players, and they're putting them out on loan where they think it'll benefit for them. They're keeping them in a squad where they think it'll benefit for them. So we seem to have a cunning plan, and it's not just it doesn't seem to be a personal choice that the management just didn't fancy this guy and sends him to Uzbekistan or whatever the hell it is.
Well said there, Scoochie. Well said.
I think but in football you need a bit of luck. Right place, right time. Manager likes you, dislikes you. It's a toss of a coin sometimes.
Listen, Oxford, can I
when you go out and then
right.
I was just asking if you got the cold. You sound a bit hoarse there. You want to get yourself a tune or a locker.
when you go.
The other night there we were talking about the share offer and Dave King's share offer. So sorry to bore everybody, but I'd said that it was the closing date for acceptance was the 9th of February. It's in fact the 15th of February. So anybody who's got shares and they want to sell them, if they're going to take up the deal, they have to get it done by the 15th of February. Otherwise, the default is no acceptance. If you want to accept, you've got to fill the form in and get it in to wherever it is. It's on the forums. Just to say, I said the 9th and it should have been the 15th.
And then come the 15th of February, Bridge, that'll be something else ticked off.
Gone. Another box tick. On you go now.
Because that is, I know it means nothing in the whole scheme of things, but that's something else we're not going to have to look at in the paper.
Well, yes, absolutely. But I don't. How much take-up is there really going to be for this offer? I don't know.
Zilch.
So, I think it's much ado about nothing, frankly speaking. I think the papers will make as much of a story of it as they possibly can. But I think actually I agree with Dave King at the time when they said it. It's almost a pointless exercise, but he's ticking some boxes in terms of doing this stuff. So we'll see what the outcome is, if anything. I've kind of lost track of the boardroom stuff gradually over the last 12 months, and I used to follow it quite avidly in terms of actually what was happening. But I think I've lost track of it, and I think that's a good thing because we've been concentrating on, our new manager and the football we're playing and the European run and things like that, so which is absolutely the stuff that we want to be talking about, we want to be discussing rather than share issues and legal battles with the Sports Direct, etc. So I hope. As I say, I think there's much ado about nothing, and then we can just get back and focus on the football.
Can I just say that I think that this one was the ex-Spids, our ex-chairman, and I think with our other Spid mob that was running the place, I think together they've got this out and they've taken Dave King to court, and of course they're using this as a tool against Dave King, and hopefully it's all done on the 15th of February. It's all finished with. And the result comes out soon after that, and they say no need to buy any shares. He's done the right thing, because as people have said in the past, it is a bit of nonsense. That all they're doing is causing trouble for Rangers, nothing else. Causing trouble for Rangers. Thanks for the time there, Oxchair.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. We should be so polite every night. Oh, he's not coming back on that one.
I'm always polite. What are you on about?
I know you are. One of those gentlemen. We could just string a run of victories together in this league, Rudy.
Aye.
It's no beyond us yet.
No. I mean, the other night, Wednesday night against Killie was a real disappointment, because I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, with that kind of performance. After the 29th, we were all buoyed with enthusiasm. We were chuffed to bits. We thoroughly enjoyed what had happened. And I think we spoke about it, more so the performance. I mean, the win was great, don't get me wrong, but it was the performance. It was actually the manner of the win. It can be disappointing, the manner of the defeat was on Wednesday night. It was the manner of the defeat. Well, it was the same with the performance. It was the manner of the performance in the win against the Dart side on the 29th. So we're all buoyed, we're ready to go. They've been away, they've had a wee bit of break, they've spent a bit of time with their families, then they've went and got a bit of training in the sunshine. They come back, we're thinking they're going to be firing on all cylinders, ready to go, and then we get that performance after a decent first 20 minutes. Where we go 1-0 up, and then as soon as they equalise, it just falls apart. And I wasn't really expecting that. Okay, right, so that's gone now. There's nothing we can do with that. They rectified that performance on Sunday, yesterday. They played well, got the win. Difficult place to go on a plastic pitch, dodgy pitch. But they played well, they got the 3 points. But they have to keep that kind of performance up. I keep using this word, Ox, consistency. They have to be more consistent in their performances, and that's how results will get they'll get the results if they're more consistent in their performance. We're not out it by any stretch of the imagination. We're back to second in the league now. The Tims are ahead of us. They've got a game in hand, but don't forget we've still to play them twice. So we have, but we can't keep dropping these points. You look at the amount of points and daft results and, defeats that we had in the first part of the season, times we drop points by drawing in the first half of the season. We can't have a second half of the season like that. And that's what was so disappointing about Wednesday night, especially when you saw the performance yesterday. We need more of what we saw yesterday. going forward in the second half of the season. We're no out it yet, Ox.
Big Al, is Rudy right?
Rudy's always right. Anything he says, man.
Cheers, Al.
No problem, buddy. Of course, there's a bit of consistency. We've been seeing him with consistency for last season and this season. I said to you on Saturday, we were beating teams with 10 men at the beginning of the season, and we start dropping points with 11 men, and it's difficult. There's a bigger picture thing. We've got a new manager in. He's young, he's ambitious. He's got to try things that will work. He's got to try things that won't work. But consistency, it's a difficult thing to achieve, I think. We just have to go into the games with greater belief in the squad's own abilities, and then just have to keep performing. I think as long as we've got Morelos up, even if we are on the firing on all cylinders, I think we can see out games. It's that point when we're teetering on the edge there. It can go either way, that we have to just suck it up, push on, get a couple of hard tackles in, see you over the line. Consistency is a must. Any championship winning team is consistency is ultimate, isn't it? So hopefully onwards and upwards we can get that consistency. If it's 15 games left, who's it keep saying there's 15 cup finals? We'll think it that way, guys. You've had your break. You've been out in your jollies. You know it's hard work. It's been out at the end of the season and bring home that 55 for us, because I cannot wait, man. I can't wait for that. I don't care about anything else at the moment. I just want that 55.
Here, boy. Here.
Here, Al. Well said, mate. Well said.
And then 56, and then 57, and then 60.
Nothing wrong with that.
Forward, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
Sorry, I kept interrupting it.
Because that's what's going to happen, I believe it. We, as soon as we achieve that 55, we're going to go on a run. Another 4 or 5 league titles in a row, you know what I mean? That's the way Scottish football goes. So you can be at 60 before there's another challenge, you know what I mean? And a team, because they're not great shakes, and there never have been any great shakes. Like they're Messiah, the Sunbed man. He's off, isn't he? He's off. He knows. He's no one to be embarrassed. The Sorcerers don't want to be embarrassed with their apprentice, but I would suggest it was the other way about. If it wasn't for Suarez, Coutinho and Gerrard in that team, Rodgers wouldn't kind of have that kind of illusion that he's a greater manager. He's hee-haw, man. He's hee-haw.
Fox, how are you feeling about the big picture?
I think it's going to be hard to win the title this year. I've not given up hope, but if we drop any more points, we can forget it, I think. That's my honest opinion. We need to remember we've got a rookie manager, just like we were talking about younger players there. He's got a 4-year contract there. It might not be this year. The Rangers support need to think that. To win something this year would be a big bonus for us, even the Scottish Cup, if we can manage to win that. But 4-year contract might not be this year, but if it goes close this year, I would say definitely next year.
I'm not far away from your thoughts there, Fox. I've been saying for a while that we got a great run in Europe, and for me, I was over the moon with it. And obviously, I would like to do that again. I'd love to get a Scottish Cup win. I'd love to go as far in the Scottish Cup as we could, and I'd love to win it. And obviously, the bee's knees, as all you guys have said, desperately would love to win the league. But we seem to be tripping ourselves up too much. And I agree with you say, Fox. Maybe the next trip up might be the last trip up, and it'll spoil our chances. But I'm all for it. I'm really up for it. Hopefully we win the league. I just want to go as far as we can and prove to everybody that we are back. That's what I would want. Prove that we're back.
Could you?
I think we've got the potential to win the league this year, definitely. But the word that everybody's talked about now is consistency, and we've just not had it. the entire season. Where can we drag some consistency up from and put together a run of games? We said it in October. October was an important month. We said it in December. December was an important month, and we really kind of didn't. We didn't get the points on the board that we really wanted to. And then we're into January now. We lose our first game. It's really galling because we know we can beat these teams, but just trying to do it on a week in, week out basis has killed us stone dead. I think. So can we do it? I think the potential's there. As the boys have said, we cannot drop any more points because Celtic won't, and I think it's as simple as that. The only good thing is that we've had a tough start coming back in January, February, and what goes around comes around in football. So our competition will get the away games at Kilmarnock. They will get the away games at Livingston. And they've got to go there and pick up 3 points as well. But we just need to start clawing points, and winning games. Come hell or high water. We just need the points on the board. If we can put a run together, we can still be in the hunt, and I think we can still do it. But we need to buck the trend in terms of consistency, and we need to do it quickly.
That's the magic word, consistency, Big Al.
2 seconds, guys. I'm just eating my smoko. Consistency, aye. Sorry.
Don't bother, mate. We'll leave you.
No. Consistency, but it's how do you achieve that? You achieve that by winning games. Simple as. Just need to tell them, like, guys, you want to be successful in your careers, you want to win league titles, you need to start winning games, seeing them out, seeing them over the line. It's as simple as that. Hopefully, Mr. Gerrard's got that. He's got that into them. I think if we keep Morelos here at the end of the season, I hope there's no any late bids of that. I think we've got a real chance that we can win it. We're still up there, we're in touching distance. It's ourselves that have let ourselves down, not the other teams. If we'd have won a couple of games, we'd be sitting clear at the top. So it is achievable, definitely. Back to the chili. It's lovely, Rudy. You'd like a keto chili.
I can smell it. No beans in it, man. Smell it from here, mate. Smells nice.
Chili for your breakfast.
A bit early for you, Rudy, yeah?
Well, I don't know. You see the consistency thing. I mean, Ryan Jack touched on it himself in the presser. He said the players had a wee chat to each other, and they couldn't think back to when they'd put a run of games together. So that's what he was talking about. He was talking about consistency. So the players already know this. They know it. They've just got to get their head around it. That's what's required to get us through the second half of the league season is consistency. It's as simple as that. They can't drop the stupid points that they've dropped in the first half of the season, and they certainly can't put in some of the performances we watched, like Dundee and Livingston in the first half of the season was absolutely woeful. Like going again ahead against Aberdeen and Hibs, and then losing the last minute goals. That's got to all stop now. It's got to stop. I mean, there's only one way to stop them is get that consistency. As Big Al says, is winning games. You go on a run, they're winning games. They need to go on a run of 5 or 6 games now. So they've got to do it now.
The gem on the panel, can they tell us what's the biggest run we've been on this season? About 6, 7 in a row?
Winning games, I'll have a quick look. I'll just give you...
winning games. Sorry, guys.
Quick look.
So the players, as I said, Ryan Jack's already touched on it. So they've obviously discussed it, and they know what's required. It's down to them to put the performances in now. So as I don't know what happened to them on Wednesday night after 20 minutes. Don't get it at all. I just don't get it because we've got the quality compared to Kilmarnock.
I was thinking about that, Rudy.
Aye.
I was thinking about that. See, all the managers prior to their game getting cancelled with Cowdenbeath. I think every manager to their son said that the games are a wee bit leggy and things like that. Do you think that was your leggy game? You know what I mean? And then we came back, we bounced back because we didn't have that game against Cowdenbeath.
Aye.
When the other teams came back, all the managers were saying, it wasn't a great performance, was still a wee bit leggy, why get a game under your belt and then take it to the next game. Well, we've done that to a certain extent.
3 in a row, Big Al.
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Terrible,
I'll give you the games. We beat after the Livingston defeat. We beat Rapid Vienna, Hearts, and Hamilton away, and then we drew against Spartak Moscow. Anyway, Bridgeman, that time of the evening.
What can I say, boys? What can I say? Another wonderful night. Marvellous conversations. I absolutely love this. It's really good. It's good for my nerves as well. So thanks very much, guys. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans here on Rangers Radio, everyone is, please keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers desperately need us. Keep it going.
There's a pub in Green Street where all good proddies you will meet. So come down here and together we'll have a jar. A welcome there you will receive, so good that you won't want to leave. A fine wee pub is Saltcoats Mermaid Bar. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is by one and all. We all support the Queen and Crown. The prices here are the best in town. The bar staff, they are one terrific crew. Everyone laughing, full of cheer. It's one tremendous atmosphere, singing to support the red, white and blue. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. It's nice to come to the Mermaid Bar when Rangers are playing at Ibrox Park. You'll forget your worries and all your cares, singing songs against the Thames before you watch the Rangers win. For everyone here supports the Teddy Bears. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. If you are up from Belfast town, Tyrone, Fermanagh or County Down, Armagh, Antrim or London, Derry shores, the Mermaid is the place for you, so come and have a drink or two. Next time in Saltcoats you'll want to come back for more. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy, as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all.